to start this video out by saying all constitutional rights invoked, none waived. I want to start this video out by saying all constitutional rights invoked herein, none waived. Getting right into it. We getting right into it. Okay. I wanted to show y'all this clip from a lady who was somebody from TikTok sent it to me, and I seen it, and then I got some messages from her. She made these videos and then they hurried up and took them down. So since they wanted to hurry up and take them down, I said I'm going to put them in this video. I'm going to put them in this video and let them take that down. It's going to go right to the marshals, and then there's going to be another fallout like in Texas. After they removed that video up talking about the Texas lottery and the American lottery fraud syndicate, they took that video down and all hell broke loose. Now, so moving right along, we're going to show these clips of this lady real quick. But yeah, man, these people, this Algenon Marbly, he was our federal judge. She going to talk a little bit about that. And, you know, I ain't going to say too much in this video because our next video is going to be very, very, very important. I don't want to say too much because I want to keep the focus on this issue that we're highlighting here. When this Todd Sidoti told my brother, get ready for the upcoming war. And he knew about all of this stuff. They all knew about it, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to play this clip for you.
Because you can look at the timeline, the quick turnaround. So in retaliation, what usually happens when you're evaluating the elements to see if it meets a retaliatory type of a claim even, you look at when did the adverse action occur. So when did someone do something? When did I file civil filings? Like, you know, everything that Algenon Marbly doesn't like, and like I like my friend. Well, he ain't my friend. I don't really know him yet, but I done made him my damn friend. His name is Mark. He fights and advocates for his brother. That Algenon Marbly has something to do with the murder of his fucking brother, okay? He my motherfucking friend. Now, he don't know he my goddamn friend, but he is, boo, and I like him, honey. I like the way he talked. I liked his delivery, and I could tell, honey, me and him would be the best of motherfucking friends. You hear me? I could tell, bitch. But anyways, motherfucker, I sat up and watched his videos and the shit he was saying. I was like, bitch, I'ma smack the shit out of somebody. I don't even know him, and I'm ready to bang with a motherfucker behind the shit he was saying they did to him and his goddamn brother and shit. And I like him, honey. He was telling a little story on the YouTube about some motherfucker that fucked him over. He's like, we're gonna get that fat bitch. We're gonna get that bitch. Like, okay. Hate these hoes. Forgive me, Jesus. But anyways, I got off to talk about something else because I got to start thinking about him. I don't even know that man, but I'm telling you, God is good. God will bring the awareness to me of what the fuck other people are going through and shit like that. Because I'm going to find out your story. When I find out your story, I'm going to start talking about it too. I'm going to let motherfuckers know. I don't know his last name yet. I got to go back and listen. His name is Mark. His brother was killed, and his brother is like Laoshu, Laoshu. It's like 505. I wrote the shit down on my thing at the at home because I said I'm gonna look on every damn platform to make sure I'm following him and trying to be a support. People just don't know this type of shit right here. It's not okay. But unless you go through it, and God forbid you ever do, you wouldn't believe some people like myself and like him. Only other people that go through it that are targeted and gang stalk and stuff like that, no. Only others. That's why we have to have our own community and really support one another and make sure we speak up and speak out and share each other's stuff and keep an eye on one another and give tips, you know what I mean? And be like, bro, watch that shit. Because he talked about the honey pots and stuff like that motherfuckers be sending to set. Okay.
This is my brother Moses McCormick, aka Laoshu.
Hey, this is who I was talking about on my videos. The Lord led me to the YouTube video with this guy's brother, Mark McCormick, and people, you don't understand and know the Most High is the greatest. The Lord just had me search Algenon Marbly on YouTube, and I happened to come across something where he was talking about bias and, all this fuck shit, bullshit, fraud, dumbass shit. I can't stand Little Bill. Bitch, Algenon Marbly is an accuser of the motherfucking brother. He took all my rights away. But that's the standard operating practice, obviously. But the Lord wanted me to see the predicate cases in the RICO. It's over.
This was who the lady was talking about. This is Algenon Marbly. He was our federal judge too. And apparently he's her judge, and he's doing the same thing that he did to us. Stripping away rights and making erroneous rulings for the deep state cabal, the deep state democratic cabal. We already know. That's why you rescinded your seat, Mr. Algenon Marbly. But you going to jail, motherfucker. You going to jail. You going to jail. You look like your breath smell like shit in this motherfucking photo. You is going to jail. So everybody that's watching, that's who she was talking about, Judge Algenon Marbly, and he fucked us over, and he helped them to put my brother in a situation to get killed. And he stalled our lawsuit and then had them come in and make Moses take away his claims out of the lawsuit because they knew they couldn't win. This bitch going to jail. You tampered with a federal plaintiff. You going to jail. Hello, my people. Hello. We are going to talk about this guy here. His name is Todd Sidoti. This is the lawyer that solicited Moses through the mail to represent him in his divorce, okay? And this attorney was sent to him, okay? Because he had got the file before anybody knew about it. So he had reached out to Moses anyway. Moses ended up hiring him. And when Moses ended up hiring him, it was funny because he was playing both sides. He was working for the wife, and he was pretending to work for Moses. Now, we did a heavy investigation on this dude, and come to find out, he was playing both sides. And the Franklin County courts, they use him as a jobber. So, he's like a bottom feeder attorney that they use to, just do ins and outs. He's ins and outs. He's a bottom feeder attorney. Okay. So with that being said, it's crazy because he was sending text messages back and forth to Moses, and he told Moses, prepare for the upcoming war. Like, he already knew that they had plans to kill Moses and everything like that, and we knew too. But he was sending it through text message and telling him, and I'm gonna show y'all all the text messages. But before we get to his text message, this man was doing all kind of illegal stuff. So we sued him. He forged Moses' signature on a paper, on court papers, and turned them in to Magistrate Brian K. Elliott, and he forged Moses' wife's signature too. Like, he forged the papers and turned them in to, Stacy Gilbert forged the wife's signature, but they both forged and turned those papers in together, and they was running a scam the whole time. So we sued them, and when we sued them in Franklin County civil court, he went and filed bankruptcy. Now, anybody knows, like any of you legal people and attorneys that's watching this video, if somebody filed a lawsuit against you and you run and go file bankruptcy, that freezes the lawsuit. Okay, that freezes the lawsuit because you get the automatic stay. So he tried to request for the federal government to stay our lawsuit against him for 60 months. And I'm going to show you what I did, what I had to do to get that destroyed, because the federal bankruptcy court was working in concert with him, and they froze our whole civil suit against about, I think it was more than 20 defendants on there, and they froze it to all defendants under that bankruptcy. And then we had to go down there and put something in called a relief from stay, and that relief from bankruptcy stay allowed the stay to be lifted and us to pursue with the lawsuit. But they were taking so long with the decision on the stay that we just removed him from our civil lawsuit. And so upon removing him from our civil lawsuit, we was able to move forward against the rest of the defendants because they were non-debtors. They wasn't a part of the lawsuit. I mean, they wasn't a part of his bankruptcy. So as soon as we took him off our civil lawsuit, they as soon as we took him off of there, they granted the relief from stay. So, you know, they was operating in concert, violating due process, violating procedural due process and substantive due process. But let's get to these threats with him telling Moses to get ready for the upcoming war, because they all knew Moses was set to be killed. He know, Judge Brown knew, Judge Algenon Marbly knew, Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor knew, everybody knew, Stacey Gilbert knew, his wife Shochun Liu knew. They all knew what the plan was. That's why they wouldn't leave him alone. So we gonna move right along. Y'all know who Todd Sidoti is. We gonna pull up his bankruptcy case, and I'm gonna go into the file, and I'm going to show you what this piece of trash is all about, and we're going to take away his freedom along with all the people who was involved in that whole ordeal. The only person we don't want is Catherine White. She gets total immunity from us. We don't want nothing to happen to her, but the rest of the motherfuckers, we gonna rope a dope and rope them motherfuckers up. Okay, people, on September 22nd in 2017, me and Moses, we had to file this because Todd Sidoti went to this bankruptcy court and used the bankruptcy court to freeze our case against him and all the other rogue cabal members that was doing all this stuff to Moses. Now, I'm not going to read through this, but I'm going to scroll a little bit so you guys can read it, all you attorneys and everything. But we won on here. We beat them. So they was trying to argue that we shouldn't have it, but you know, we got it anyway. They was having ex parte communication saying we shouldn't have it and keep it frozen. We know all about that ex parte communication. We got all that on tape. Okay. So we got all that, and they didn't respond to this. So this went unresponded. Okay. But through the ex parte communication they was having, they was saying no. But look, we argued this all the way down, and they couldn't say nothing. They couldn't say nothing. Now I'm gonna show y'all these threats. We gonna punch. We gonna get to the punch, and I'm gonna read the order that the judge issued. I'm gonna read the order that the judge issued as a result of us filing this. This was 29 pages we filed. I wasn't fucking around. You see my signature. You see Moses' signature and my signature. We write just alike. I remember one of the attorneys was like, "Oh, Mark is signing both of their names." No, the fuck I'm not. That's my brother. We write just alike. Okay? So look, this is in Michael Holbrook's court in the Franklin County, our case against his wife, Shochun Liu, and all her cronies that was all working for her. Okay? They ain't want that case to go forward. Now look at this police report. Look at this. Look at this police report. This is what we used to get this bankruptcy case destroyed. Now we coming for his neck. He getting his freedom taken away. Look at this shit. Look at his signature at the bottom of this paper. You see the signature at the bottom of this paper? This supposed to be Moses' signature. He forged it. That ain't Moses' fucking signature under Exhibit V. So this is all what was going on in 2017. And then I'm going to show you the text messages. And this is all on federal record. So they feds can't say they ain't know, because it's evidence everywhere. They knew about all of this abuse and about all of this. Now watch this. Look at Moses' signature. Look at Moses' signature right there. And look, he tried to forge it and make it look like Moses's. You see what he did? He did a terrible ass job too. And then they forged the wife's name because they forgot to put the rest of the name in there. Her name ain't Show. Her name is Show Chan. Like you see on here, you see this Moses McCormick and all versus Show Chan, and the last name is Lou. They forgot to put the goddamn last name in there. And they forgot to put the second part of the name and the last name. They was just being sloppy, and they did this in front of Brian K. Elliott, Magistrate Brian K. Elliott, okay? We reported all this to the police, all right? This was the case number, February 14, 2017. We reported this to the police. It was for fraud, okay? For all you people who said that all this stuff was made up and this wasn't happening. This shit go way back. Look at all this shit. Look at all this shit. Todd Sidoti was the suspect on this report. Okay? You see this? You see that? The victim was Moses M. McCormick. Alright? Moses M. McCormick was the victim. Identity fraud, they logged it up under. Okay? And the suspect's name was Todd Sidoti. And this was his phone number and address and everything at the time. Okay, and tell me right now, why is he still working as an attorney? Now let's get to these threats about the upcoming war. Okay, and this is how much money Moses was paid him for the initial retainer and everything. So this is proof that he was supposed to be working for Moses. Moses paid him money. I sent Moses the money to pay him, and he paid him, and then he went off and did that. So look at this right here. Look at this. I just read your email. This will not set well with Judge Brown, but it's your right to change your mind. If this is your choice, then you'll need to catch up on your fees and pay extra so I can prep for the upcoming war. And also, do not touch that money she deposited yesterday. If you're changing your mind, then you have no right to that money. Leave it in the bank for her to take back, and I guess we'll talk later. And he was mad because Moses wasn't settling out of court. They couldn't scam him. You see what I'm saying? Because Moses was taking direction from me. I said, no, you ain't doing shit. These motherfuckers you ain't doing shit. And they knew that. Look at this shit. And then look at this, talking about he needs some more money and all this shit. Them motherfuckers in Washington had that bankruptcy case destroyed. Who the fuck he thought he was? What the fuck they thought they was doing? And look at this going back and forth. We had affidavits on all this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this. And he gonna say, Moses, I can appreciate your situation and you need to do what is best. There is a strong possibility that she is trying to out-money you. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Let's go back to this. There's a strong possibility that she is trying to out-money you in terms of legal representation. So she was bribing the court, and he basically said that. If you can obtain a pro bono attorney, then I encourage you to do so. However, I'll need to know how you're proceeding before our next court date. At this point, you and I are even on attorney fees, but if I prepare for and attend the next court date, then you'll be back to owing fees. Also, the rules of my profession state that if I'm going to withdraw, I have to do it no later than 7 days prior to the court date. So time is of the essence. So he basically was like, you on your own, I'm out, because he got caught fucking around. You see what I'm saying? And then he tried to send a fucking... See, this is before we filed the lawsuit on that ass. Then he tried to send a letter talking about Moses. In regards to the parenting schedule, I mistakenly thought it was signed off on by the magistrate. However, it was only an informal agreement between the parties that was not signed by the magistrate. We all simply agreed to the parenting schedule and left the financials for the affidavits. Pretty common, actually. Your wife is now pulling out of that parenting agreement, and she can do that since it was an informal agreement between the parties and not yet formalized by the judge or magistrate. The TO affidavit must now address parenting as well as financials. Is this something you want me to do or not? I ask because you seem to be doing everything else on your own now. Also, please don't threaten a bar complaint if the judge signs the withdrawal. I told you after who the fuck these motherfuckers thought they was, man? We about to have diarrhea all over the top of these bitches. Okay, look at this shit. Look at this shit. All of this shit was happening while the United States sat back. Look at all this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this. Now let's look at the order the judge issued as a result. Okay, this order was issued. This order was filed and entered on November 3rd, 2017. And this was issued by Federal Judge John E. Hoffman Jr. at the United States Bankruptcy Court located in the Southern District of Columbus, Ohio. Okay, we're going to get right into it. This was Todd Sidoti's bankruptcy judge, okay? This was Todd Sidoti's bankruptcy judge, and this is what he said. This matter is before the court in the Chapter 13 case of Todd D. Sidoti and Rebecca L. Sidoti, the debtors. On the motion for relief from automatic stay filed by Moses McCormick and Mark McCormick, the movements, on September 22nd, 2017, the motion, document 34, by the motion, the movements seek relief from the automatic stay imposed by subsection 362A1 of the Bankruptcy Code, so they may proceed with an action they commence pre-petition. Docket number 17 CV003086. The state court action against debtor Todd Sidoti and certain non-debtor third parties in the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas, the state court. No objection to the motion has been filed, and the time for doing so has now passed. But the mere lack of an objection does not entitle a movement to the relief sought. Instead, the court should review the motion to ensure that the relief sought is warranted under the law and facts before it. See Smith versus Vista Hill Partners LLC, or whatever. Before a litigant is awarded the relief it seeks, when the opposing party fails to respond, the court needs to satisfy itself that the facts before it demonstrate a prima facie entitlement to that relief. Relief from the automatic stay is available for cause under 362D1 to permit state court litigation to go forward under certain circumstances. Section 362D1 of the Bankruptcy Code states, on request of a party in interest and after notice and a hearing, the court shall grant relief from the stay provided under subsection A of this section, such as by terminating, annulling, modifying, or conditioning such stay. Number 1, for cause including the lack of adequate protection of interest and property of such party in interest. Okay. All right. Okay. The Sixth Circuit has indicated that courts should consider a variety of factors, including judicial economy, when determining whether cause exists under 362D1 in the context of a motion to modify the automatic stay to allow pending litigation in a non-bankruptcy forum to proceed to finality. Okay. Having reviewed the motion, the court concludes that judicial efficiency dictates that the merits of the claims against debtor Todd Sidoti and the non-defendants be decided by the state court, and that cause therefore exists to grant the movements relief from the automatic stay. It is accordingly ordered that the automatic stay is modified to permit the movements to continue the state court action for the purposes of liquidating their claims against Mr. Sidoti in the state court action. That said, 2 points bear noting. Notwithstanding the movement's contention that they are extremely likely to prevail in the state court action, motion at 3, nothing in this order shall be construed as expressing any view on the factual allegations the movements make against Mr. Sidoti in the motion or the state court action. Although the motion states that the movements agree that any debt owed by the debtor Todd Sidoti for monetary damages resulting from the judgment in the state court action will be collected solely by means of a proof of claim in this bankruptcy proceeding, the movements have not filed a proof of claim in this case, as the movements were previously notified. See document 15. So he just tried to find a flaw while giving us what he know he was due to give us. Okay, that judge. So he knew this was fraudulent, and we turned something in to tell him this is fraudulent. This is fraudulent. He ignored us, so we went to our partners in Washington, and we got that shit dissolved after we went on there. Okay, so that's the end of that. This is all proof that they was fucking with Moses and thwarting our cases and thwarting everything. Courts all compromised. All these motherfuckers going to jail. You understand the fuck me? This was our guardian ad litem on Moses' case. This was the guardian ad litem. This was the guardian ad litem on Moses' case, and the courts used these guardian ad litems. This lady's name is Rosemarie Welch. She worked in Franklin County in Columbus, Ohio. She told us, we told her, well, you inspected the home and you already seen everything is up to par and good. She was like, yeah, it's nice and everything is good. And I was like, so, what's the big problem? And then she looked at me and Moses, and she put one hand on her hip and she said, we don't operate on morality. We do not operate on morality, and I'm sorry. So, bitch, we ain't operating on morality now. We gonna show your fat ass. We gonna show your fat ass, because like I said, I ain't letting y'all go until y'all all go to jail. Until all y'all go to jail, all y'all I be talking about, I ain't letting it go. I don't give a fuck who gotta be paid off. I don't give a fuck what got to be done. You going to jail. I want you there worse than you don't want to be there. So as worse as you think you don't want to be there, I'm more passionate about wanting you there. Okay, you see, this is all these years later, and like I said, it's gonna be fresh like it happened 5 minutes ago. Bitch, you fat bitch, I told your fat ass, I told you this shit ain't never gonna go away. It ain't ever gonna go away. You gonna be held accountable for what the fuck you was saying and what you was doing and all that money you was making, and then you didn't return my motherfucking money that I paid. I ain't had nothing to do with the situation. You owe me money, bitch. You in debt to me, bitch. And you will. I'm gonna get it out of you one way or the other. You going to jail. You going to jail. You going to jail. You could keep that money, but I want you to keep it because I want to see your fat ass in jail.
Y'all going to jail. Y'all want to fuck the jail.
That? So when you going in there and that's my constitution to right, that's that. She like, girl, listen, this ain't even that kind of business. We don't even do that here. They not hearing none of that.
This is a road. Okay? We're going to follow this road all the way down. You're going to take a sharp left. Okay? Up here, past this tree here. Okay? Once you get up here, you're going to take another sharp turn. And over here, this is where you have me fucked up at. Right here in this place.
What was going on? Anyway, been zesty. Checkout was at 11 o'clock. It was past 1 o'clock, and you two niggas was still in the shower together. Spitting on each other's lives over and over and over and over and over and over again. Rubbing out in some hot oils, baby. No, y'all wasn't in there doing the Teddy P in the wheelchair. This thing, the long hair, we the people say you better find you a new trick, girl, child, because you gave up all that pussy and flung all that hair that nigga couldn't even afford to pay for the room, child, I'm just saying, it's how yellow nigga gag or you get kicked out of your homes, your hotel rooms, been zesty. What the fuck you got going on? I need to apologize to you.
Break down they shit.
Any final words for the people?
Au revoir. And these is from right now. These is from right now. Okay. This is from right now. As you can see, I'm in the store. That's why it was taking me some time.
Mwah. And TT. TT? She ain't getting a cut. Look, Frank, I ain't for your shit tonight, alright? TT needs it more than any of us. Look, she didn't do anything. She walked out. Who the fuck cares? She was there. No, fuck that. She didn't do nothing, so she ain't getting nothing. Get it? Frank, I don't want your money.
How you doing, Edwin, man? I don't mean to disturb your day, man. Hope you're having a good day, man. Just wanted to ask, man, is there any truth to these claims about the stolen ticket? Is there anything that you can say to us? Well, look, hope you have a good day, and hopefully this legal situation gets resolved.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.